This is part 2 to my previous Ghost Jobs video. Um, so I'm just going to get right in. Here are some of the easiest ways to avoid ghost jobs and fake jobs. When you're looking around on Indeed or Google or Snagajob or any of these places, one of the first things you want to look at is the actual job posting. In the job posting, usually they're going to list a location. They're going to list a position, a location, and the company, right? Google the company. If you're not finding a lot of information about the company, chances are it's probably a scam listing. If it is a legit company, like a retailer as an example, well, what you're going to want to do is go into Google and type in that company's name / careers. And usually it's going to pull up that company's actual main site for applying to the jobs. So for example, let's say it was Home Depot, right? You would go to Home Depot, I think it's homedepot.com/careers. But if you go into Google and type in Home Depot careers, it'll come up on Google, and you click that link, you'll have to make an account. And then when you make your account, you can type in your zip code and see what, in this example, Home Depot, what jobs Home Depot has available in your area that they're actually hiring for. I haven't seen it where a company will post on its own company website jobs that are fake or ghost jobs. I haven't seen it, doesn't mean it don't exist. I'm just saying by doing that, you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Actually, you killed 3 birds with 1 stone. Because for one, you know it's a legit company. 2, you know that they're actively, at least they have active listings going on. And 3, you know for sure it's not a scam. Not to mention, if you find posts on LinkedIn or Indeed, sometimes these companies will list these jobs and actually have the positions filled and forget to go back and take those listings down. So just by doing that one step, you verify that, hey, this is legit. The other thing you want to watch out for is job listings that are entirely too vague. Or, of course, job listings with companies that don't appear to be real, or they're real companies, but they're companies that aren't even in the country that you're applying to. I'm all for people who want to try to work international, but when you do that, you run the risk of a scam, of running into a scam listing where they're just trying to collect your information for whatever nefarious purposes. Whereas if you apply to jobs that are in your direct country, you can limit that down by, I imagine, at least 40%. The next sign you want to look out for is jobs that sound too good to be true. Nowadays, it's kind of it's a rough shot, but if it sounds too good to be true, they could be trying to bait you in. So go look up the company, go to their career website, go look up the information as far as if they're even hiring in your area. That'll help limit that situation as well. The other thing you want to look for is any listings. I don't know if they'd be bold enough to put this in the listing, but let's say you apply to a company and they give you a location to interview at. Go into Google, check Google Maps. Make sure where the heck they're sending you to, or where they're claiming that you need to go to, is a legit location. You do not want to be offered an interview and then you go on to Google and find out it's at a crack house or something like that. There's a high chance, if you see what they're sending you is not lining up with what's actually there, forget scams. There's a chance. I mean, there's also human trafficking. Like you may have to watch out for that sort of thing as well. There's a chance that something is horribly wrong. Don't go forward in that process. If they ask you to interview through like third-party apps like Teams or WhatsApp or something that doesn't seem professional or seems questionable, don't go for it, because they're probably going to try to get you in some kind of way. If you're at an interview and it's a group interview, that's already a red flag there too. Because a lot of times with the group interviews, it's usually some kind of a pyramid scheme. I'd be willing to list a company name, but the last thing I need is for somebody to come out the woodwork. So I'm just going to say, if you show up to an interview and there's multiple other people and you watch a whole presentation and it looks like they're trying to convince you to buy some stuff, to sell some stuff, just go ahead, walk your happy Cathy ass right on out of there, because that's a no. We're not trying to do pyramid schemes, and they never work. The next thing you want to look for is the date on the job listing. If it's not something that's been listed up within, I'd be willing to say, I would personally say 30 days, but if you see it's been up for like 60 days or more, just go ahead and skip that, because it's probably a ghost listing. You want to look for stuff that's fresh within the last month, maybe even within the last 2 months. But if it's been up for longer than a month, chances are they're just collecting up an applicant pool, just like what I discussed in my last video. And you may be wasting your time if you're looking for something right now. It might still be worth applying to, because if your job search is unsuccessful, getting that call maybe 3 or 4 months later might actually be something that works in your favor. But I would personally skip it unless you were in dire straits. The other thing you want to look for is any job listings that have been posted multiple times. Like if it's been posted up, taken down, and then posted up again, let's say within the span of 2 weeks or a month, that indicates one of two things. Either that job is so bottom of the barrel that every time they hire somebody, that person just quits. Or they're putting the listing up and then they're just taking it down. They hit a certain number, whatever number they determine they want to collect up on, they hit that number, and then they take it down, and then they put it back up. You don't want to waste your time with yo-yo listings. That's what I'm going to call them, yo-yo listings. Don't want to do that. For regular brick and mortar jobs, the easiest way to suss out if it's a ghost job is to just look at the location on the listing and go call you don't have to call the number on the listing. Go to Google, type in the company name, look for the locations that are in your area, call said locations, or whatever location the listing is for. And I'm saying do that because if it's a scam listing or something like that, the information that they'll provide on that listing is not going to line up with the actual company that they're so-called posing as. So call the place that you're trying to apply to, get a manager on the phone and ask them, are they actively hiring right now? Just doing that the old-fashioned way can actually alleviate a good chunk of your headaches. I'm not going to say they'll always say yes or no, but usually they'll let you know. Now, the manager you get on the phone with might not even be the hiring manager, but if they are a manager, they're probably aware of the situation that is going on at their particular location or in their particular department. So if they say anything along the lines of they're cutting hours, or there's layoffs going on, or hey, this location is not hiring, then you know not to waste your time applying to that location. And you can even follow up with them and ask them, hey, do you know what location is hiring? Not a guarantee that they'll know, but they may know. And they can steer you in that direction. Oh, hey, so this location isn't hiring, but the other location on 1234 Street, I hear that they are hiring and needing people. So then you can go call that location and find out. And that location can tell you where to apply. Although chances are, if you go on to Google and type in the company name and there's multiple locations, there'll probably be multiple listings up. And you can go to that company. You can go to that company career site, make an account, and see what locations in the area are hiring through that means and apply that way. So these are all the ways to try to counteract job listings that are obviously ghost jobs or fake. One final way you can do this is simply by going to the location. So like, let's say you were trying to get a job at a retailer. You see they have a listing up on Google. You see they have that listing up at the careers website. Or maybe they don't. If you go to that location and you go talk to some of the employees at that location, they'll be able to let you know. I'll be willing to say at least 7 times out of 10. Like, an employee on the lower level, the store level, might not have all the answers. But again, if they're saying things like, oh no, they've been laying off people, or they've been cutting our hours, or they're doing X, Y, and Z, then you have an idea, okay, if they're currently letting go people, they're currently firing people, they're currently cutting hours, these are all signs that this place is not hiring. They just have a listing up. And you can also ask those same employees, do they like their job? Stuff like that. And find out the kind of culture that happens there. So that way you know what you would be signing up for if you even applied. 9 times out of 10, with just that little bit of information, you can save yourself the headache of applying to either a toxic job, a fake job, or a ghost job. Sometimes these companies will collect up an applicant pool just so they have something to threaten the current employees with, to keep fire underneath their asses. Because they'll say, hey, you're replaceable. I got 30 other people who are applying to this same job. I can have you replaced in a day. Sometimes they're just collecting it up so when somebody, the team's already burnt out, when they finally burn out and leave or quit or get fired, they already have people lined up that they can start calling. With all this in mind, I hope this information helps. And I hope you guys are doing well. I wish y'all luck with the job search. And peace out.